feeling alright. Welcome to the bee wagon in the Volksgarten in Jena, and the people here have kindly allowed me to make my videos in the bee wagon. So this wagon used to be where the bees lived. I'm sitting right here where the bees lived. It must have been a hive of activity, and now it's a place where a lonely knight who's away from his lady can spend a quiet moment thinking about what it was he did wrong and let his lady ripen what it was he did right, so that he gets another chance to be back with his lady. So this is a mystery that many knights don't understand, and so it's my job as what? As a knight. I'm a knight. I was made a knight by William Marshall, the greatest knight of all chivalry, in the Temple Round in London. That's where I became a knight. I was knighted by the spirit of William Marshall. The ancestor William Marshall made me a knight, and he took me to his grave, and he put my hand on his sword in stone. His stone effigy was on the ground, and he said, "Adam, I make you a knight. Your job is to protect the kingdom of divine nature." So this is the job of the knight. He has to protect the kingdom of divine nature, make sure everything's good in divine order. And the prize that he gets for this, doing this good job on behalf of nature, is he meets and is partnered with his lady in waiting. So this is what this video is about, is to know this journey exists and to realize it's the only way that you can get the nice lady, and you don't want a counterpart whose job it is to destroy all the knights, all the dark knights who fall off the pathway. Okay, so I have many important things to tell you, yet this is just an introduction, and I need to make sure that the camera is working correctly, because I haven't done any video work in the bee wagon before. And so I'm going to go and examine the results, make sure my head is not being chopped off and everything's in order, and put together this first video. And in my next video I'm going to start at the beginning of this journey and show you how you can become a great knight in shining armor, and you can get your lady and have her and keep her forever, and that the love of the gentleman and the lady gets greater and greater the higher they go in their position in nature, and becomes better and better until in the end they are taken out by the Great Spirit and joined with the spirit of their ancestors, who also passed the tests of the journey of life and became knights, ladies in waiting, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, priests and high priests of nature's divine church, for divine couples. Thank you. Okay, a few adjustments to the last one. Hopefully this one's a bit better. So I noticed in the beginning a piece of paper that had "Sex for Knights" written on it. It was all white, you couldn't read it, and this means no sex for knights in the beginning. Not unless you become a knight. And what is sex? Some people would say a kiss is not sex. I say a kiss is sex. And if you kiss a lady, any lady, then that is your lady forever as far as nature is concerned. And it's very important to understand how important the kiss is. It's not something to be done lightly. I remember once watching a movie, somebody thought it was an interesting idea to film people and say, "Will you kiss me?" and see if the people would kiss them. And many people came by and said, "Will you kiss me?" "Will you kiss?" And the answer was no, they didn't want to kiss the person. Yet one lady, she looked, and maybe she hadn't been kissed for a long time, and thought yes, she would like a kiss, because she didn't know what the kiss was really about. And so she kissed this guy, a proper kiss, in front of the camera. And when they stopped filming her, she was still standing there. She wouldn't go. It took a while before she realized she has to leave. She can't be with the guy. He's kissed her now, and now what? And so mankind has lost the understanding of the purpose and function of kissing. And the kiss is to join the lady to the gentleman, and when you kiss the lady, she kisses you. So a transmission of spirit happens between the two parties, and each party is a custodian of that part of the spirit of the other. And so you've given something away, and if ever one of these parties kisses anybody else, this piece of spirit is lost forever. And there's a karmic consequences of doing this kind of thing. You can't get away with anything. So it's important to understand, firstly, the kiss is sacred, and if you're going to kiss somebody, if you find yourself kissing somebody, that is your partner forever. And you will simply suffer the karmic consequences if you dishonor that situation, because what happens is when you're made a couple, then it's not right, it's a treasonable act. Treason, this word treason, is you can commit treason against your coupleship, and this is to go off with another lady, and or even to look at another lady, or even think of doing this. And so it's very careful, one needs to be very careful how one behaves with other ladies once you have been kissed. Now, who does the kissing? Generally it's the lady who knows who her partner is. The man will really, a young man wants to partner with a lady, and he's trying to find a lady, and he hopes each lady he meets is a lady for him. Yet it's not possible that he chase after the ladies. It's better that he just waits, because eventually the lady will find him, and she'll know that he's supposed to be her knight, and she will make it known to him, and it won't happen, it won't be difficult for it to happen, and the kiss will just happen. It won't be something that is difficult for the knight to do. And if it's difficult for the knight to do, he's probably not supposed to be kissing the lady, so he shouldn't be pushing anything against what's happening naturally. So if the knight just waits, he'll find himself one day kissing a lady, and it won't be long afterwards that he finds himself having to go on a journey, because this normally happens that the knight needs to go on a mission. Once he's found his lady, he has to then be tested and proven to see if he's good enough for the lady. And so normally this happens, this meeting between the knight and the lady normally happens before the man is going on some overseas experience. Because at one time young men used to go to the army for 3 years, national training, and this was organized by nature. It wasn't an unnatural thing to do, and this qualified men to have a lady. And so before they went on their national service with the army or the navy or the air force or something like this, normally they would find a lady, and the lady would find them, and they would kiss and they'd be partnered, because this would be the preparation. And so the test is, will they be true to that lady whilst they're on overseas duty. And because not everybody knows about joining the army, or it's not required that everybody joins the army, then what happens to knights is they find themselves wanting to do some pilgrimage, to go to some special overseas place, to do some kind of trip which involves, they save up a bit of money and they go off on an overseas trip by themselves. And before they do this, normally they meet a lady. And many knights don't realize that this is the special lady that they're meeting, and what can happen is they can go overseas and they can be looking for another lady and forget about the one that they left behind in some other country. And this is the biggest mistake that a knight can make, because a knight can never be given the same quality of lady a second time. He always has to get some lesser lady. And so the best lady for the knight is the first lady that he ever kissed. And I'm going to end this video now, because this is the most important thing I can tell you. If you kiss a lady, she's yours forever. You better be serious about this business. Okay, thank you. It's very important that the knight doesn't take the lady anywhere that she's not allowed to go to. Often the knight might have bad friends. He doesn't know they're bad until he takes a lady to them, and then he has all sorts of trouble with the lady. He ought to know that they're bad friends. Some knights just hang out with anybody. You don't know the difference between good people and bad people. And so very terrible things can happen if you take a lady to the wrong people, and they can steal the lady off you for a start. You find the lady's gone off with some other guy. It's not her fault. This is a funny thing. Everything that happens to the lady is the knight's fault, because the knight is, I don't want to say in charge of the lady. He's the lady's servant, really. Yet, as a servant to the lady, it's necessary that he guides her to the right places and gives her the right advice as a lady, what to do and what not to do. And so it's not good if he takes her to a place where there's people who are not good. And nowadays, because there's so few people who know the true pathway of the lady and the gentleman, most places are not suitable to take the lady to. And so the knight has to be very careful, and it's best not to take her out at all. If he's not sure, it's better just to find a nice place to be together in. You don't need to go out on the town or anything like this. if there's not a good coffee shop or anything like this to go to, it's best to just have a cup of coffee at home. Now, I'll tell you a special secret about tables, and this is really to open the door to understanding the signs of nature. Signs, I said. I don't speak so good because of my tooth that I lost here. And I'll tell you the story of how I lost that tooth too. And the ladies don't mind if you have something wrong with you like this. You'd be surprised that a lady is not interested in what a night looks like so much. She likes a night to be tidy, yet it's not the beauty of the night which is of significance to the lady. It's the mind and the intelligence and the wisdom of the night that's most important, and how good a teacher he is for her, really. And when the lady chooses a night, she doesn't know why she chooses him. Nature chooses him through her, because the lady is closer to nature, so she can do what nature wants her to do more easily than the night can. The night has a more of a logical brain to work out what's right and what's not right and so on. But the lady is more in tune with the earth and the movement of nature. And so the lady is the complete opposite of the man. It's important to realize this. You're not dealing with the same kind of thing at all. And if a man does things one way, a lady will do them completely the opposite. It's a bit of an overview video, this. I'm going from one thing to the other. So you need to be careful where you take the lady, and also the ideas that the lady hears from other people. There's not many people who know the correct night's pathway, so it's not good to take the lady to places and people who have some other funny ideas about the way the world works. So when you join the kingdom of the knights, you have to really become a knight, and you need to associate with other knights. And you can tell who these knights are from the objects that they wear, from the hats that they wear, and so on and so forth, and the way they're dressed, the colour of their shoes, things like this is important. It used to be that they wouldn't let you into a place if you were wearing a certain colour clothing and things. Black leather jackets and things like this were not allowed. And this was because they knew in the olden days that this was a kind of riff-raff common people that were kept out, because they wanted the place to be safe for ladies, and it was the responsibility of the organisers of dances and things like this, if they were organising them for young ladies and gentlemen, that they make sure that as a group there's none of this element in. And so they had the inspectors on the doors, and they kept people out. It's not always effective, yet it used to be that ladies were safe to go to dances and things like that. These days some dances are okay and other dances are not okay. And so it's necessary for the young knight to choose the right places to take the lady. And if he makes any mistakes, takes her to the wrong place, so on, you'll find out by afterwards, not while he's there, afterwards when they leave. They may leave together, but they may end up separated. When they're by themselves, what happens is nature operates differently through them. They have to be seen to be good in public, so nature allows them to be good as a couple in public. Yet when they're together on their own, then they can do their personal work, and you'll find, neither of you can say anything to the other. There's no words coming out of you, there's no words coming out of her. So there's silence. And this means that you made a mistake. You took her to the wrong place. You allowed her to go off on her own and talk to people who she wasn't meant to talk to and things like this. And there are also things that the lady can do that she's not supposed to do either. We're going to put this on the ladies' video so they know what these things are. The knight also needs to know what these things are, so I'm going to tell you too. And that is, a lady must never look somebody in the eyes in a loving way that she would look her knight in the eyes. She must keep this special look for the knight himself and not share this look with other people. It's time that the video ends because there's a short. The video can only go for a certain amount of time, then the camera stops, and so we must make 2 videos. So I'll leave it at this. Thank you. So I'm going to tell you about round tables and square tables. The round tables are for the ladies and the gentlemen, and the square tables are for the people on the downward pathway. There's 3 pathways. There's the up pathway, which is a pathway that the knights should be on. And these are knights who are learning their lessons by listening, by watching this video and listen to what I'm saying, saying, he knows a few things, I can learn a few things off him. This is what a good knight does, who's learning in a good upward direction. But if a knight says, that old fella, he doesn't know anything, I know better than him, he hasn't got a clue, you can kiss anybody, and this kind of thing, then this knight has to go on the downward pathway. And this is a very terrible journey, and it just means you have worse and worse and worse things happen to you until you finally give up and return to the upward pathway, or you go on the outward pathway. And this is what the 3rd pathway means, that nature's taking you out, it's wiping you out, it's killing you, you're going to die. And you're going to die in a bad way. And you're not going to live a good life. That's on the out pathway. So there's the up pathway, the down pathway, and the out pathway. So the main thing is to learn from listening. Now sometimes we're listening but we're not hearing, for some reason we're not hearing what nature's telling us through other people and through the signs that happen to us. And so this means that we have to go on the downward pathway for a little bit just to see what it's like. And on this downward pathway we don't feel good at all, you know, we lose our nice happy feeling inside and we just feel, I'm not feeling too good today, I woke up, I got out of the wrong side of the bed. Okay, this is to be in a fallen state inside, fallen state of consciousness. And so all the young knight can do is not do too much. You know, if you're feeling like this, maybe you're feeling like going to bed, that's the best place. You should just go get into bed, lie down, do what you like, and just lie there and just let it all happen to you. And eventually you'll find out that you made some kind of mistake, and so you have to think about what it was that you did, and if you can find the mistake you made, then you can start to feel better, and you're prepared then to go out and do something about what it was that got you into trouble with nature. It's nature that's doing it to you. It's just moving you on the downward pathway. It gives you a chance, 1 chance, 2 chances, 3 strikes and you're out. That's the law of nature. 3 times and you're finished if you don't learn 3 times the easy way. So to stay on the upward pathway is the key thing for the young knight. And what he's doing is he's trying to learn to be good in himself. That's his own consciousness, which has got nothing to do with ladies. But when he comes together with a lady, there's 2 of them then, but they're trying to become one, so that they're only one, and they're good in that one self. It's an interesting idea to think about, that there's not actually 2 of you, there's only one of you. Yet, if your brains are different, then you say one thing and she's been told something else by some other man who didn't know the truth, then she's going to argue with you, you know? And you're not going to like this. And so, here's the blackbirds come to say hi. He's right here. It's a very nice place here in the garden. It's quiet. The visitors come, they walk past all the time. Some of them poke their heads in. There's a group to poke their heads in now. Oh, and they're coming right inside. There's a group of people coming right inside now. A whole family of people.